last week, I think on the 16th of September, I shot my first wedding. It was really fun. I'm not big into event photography. I'll do it if asked. Maybe if I feel like I can like deliver what is wanted of me, then I will do it. But like generally, I don't have the gear for it. I don't have the mental health for it. Both the bride and the groom are friends of mine, and so I figured, you know what? Let's bring our camera to the wedding, shoot some pictures of them, some like keepsake, yeah, I'm right, keepsake type photos. Why do I feel like that's keepsake? Maybe I say that word too much, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'll bring my camera, shoot some, you know, nice photos for them. That'll be my gift to them, because I don't have money to like give anyone the type of wedding gift that they actually deserve, but I do have a few cameras, so it made sense to me. And I was also very honored that they trusted me enough to shoot their wedding, such an important day. They know that I'm like mostly a film photographer, so they know. Big honor, definitely. So of course, because I'm not a professional photographer nor a experienced event photographer, I learned a lot about shooting events and especially weddings. So I thought I would share what I've learned with you guys. Number one, bring an extra set of everything. This goes for like pretty much all types of shoots, anything you do, especially any sort of paid work, but weddings especially, like that is somebody's day. You cannot screw that up. You need to make sure that all of your gear is ready to go. So before the ceremony had even started, my friend who I was shooting with, who I actually know the couple through, her camera broke before the ceremony even started. Could not be anticipated. It was just one of those things. She had just gotten the camera. I actually ended up bringing, I think, 4 or 5 cameras, so she wasn't left with nothing. And then also, while I was in the middle of taking family photos, my SD card was full. I thought that I had packed an extra SD card. I did not. I took it out to pack it. It never ended up in my bag. So I guess there's actually 2 lessons. Number 1, check your bag before you leave. It's really easy to do. Just do it. 2, have a backup and then another backup. Maybe not for like a camera body. Well, actually maybe for camera bodies, given that we had a camera break. The second thing I learned, wait for soft light. We took the family photos during, I mean, the only worst time would have been at noon when the sun is like directly hanging over. Their wedding was at, like the ceremony was at 4:30, but the pictures were like 5:30 maybe about, but it's still like September, so the sun was still really harsh, like really harsh. The sun wasn't supposed to set, I think, until 7, so we had like 2 hours of light left, and it was just too much sun on their faces. The reason why I didn't move them, I was not the official photographer. The family had their timeline. I had not discussed this timeline with them beforehand. I didn't even know what the venue looked like beforehand. So I had no way of knowing like what sort of setting I would be shooting in. And I didn't feel comfortable, especially since I know my friends. I did not know the family at all. I wish that I had known the family, because I would have said, okay guys, we're not taking these pictures right now. Have a drink, have 2 drinks, come back in 45 minutes when the sun goes down, the light is really soft and beautiful, golden hour-y, and we'll continue. Because it just did not make sense to be shooting family portraits in such harsh lighting. I did what I could, but next time, number 1, I will be discussing the timeline with the family before I get to the wedding, and 2, probably taking more charge in the situation. If the family does have a timeline that doesn't make sense, say, hey, in terms of lighting, this is not gonna work, or this location isn't gonna work. Take more control, because at the end of the day, like, I know when lighting is too harsh. I know when, you know, a certain location just really is not ideal for photos, especially like large group photos. But I didn't say anything because I'm like, well, I'm not here to like be the photographer. I'm here to take pictures for my friends. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like, I didn't really know like what my place was. I just kind of did what I was told, or more did what I was asked to do. So yeah, next time, wait for the soft light, take more initiative when it comes to directing people, like get more comfortable with the family to be able to say these things, you know, that sort of thing. Number 3, reshoot the kiss. It's not necessarily a lesson I learned, because the day of we did actually reshoot the kiss, because I don't even know where I learned that. Somewhere at some point I learned at weddings, reshoot the kiss if you can, because just make sure that you have like the shot. And when I suggested it, everyone, like the bride, the groom, and then also like my friend who I was shooting with, they were all like, that makes so much sense. Like, of course, like reshoot the kiss, such a good idea. And I was like, yeah, Tessa, like it's such a good idea. Like, how did you even think of that? I don't know where I learned that. During the day of, during the ceremony, there were reasons why I couldn't get the perfect kiss shot, like when it was like, you can kiss the bride. I'm really happy that I thought in that moment, like, okay, we're taking bride and groom pictures, let's reshoot that kiss to make sure we have like what we need. Number 4, I wish that I had given the bride and groom photos immediately, like the day after, or like even like later that night. I ended up giving them photos a week after, which I'm pretty sure like wedding photography, sometimes you're going through like 800 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 pictures. So the expectation that you're going to get through all of those in a week is just not likely. But I didn't have, the wedding like wasn't that long. I was only there for, no, I was there for a few hours, but I was only shooting for probably about 4 hours. So it wasn't like I had a ton of photos to get through. I could have given them 5 to 10 picture like little things that they can post on their Instagram, who, you know what I mean? Like of course we have iPhones, but like, please, we don't need the iPhone pictures. So that's something I'll do next time. I don't know if that's like wedding photography common practice, but I think for me personally, I want to do that, especially since I'm always so excited to share my pictures like after I'm done taking them. So yeah. Okay, my last thing that I learned, I wish that I had asked the couple, first of all, I wish that I had talked to the couple beforehand. I did not. That's another lesson. Talk to the couple before the wedding, which I know for a fact is common practice in wedding photography. But when you're shooting your first wedding, like I was, I didn't think about doing it. So yeah, talk to the bride and groom and the family. Before the wedding, I wish that I had asked them to send me 5 to 10 pictures that they really like. They love the poses, they know what they want. Number 1, I'm like not a wedding photographer, I'm not a couple photographer, so I'm not used to posing 2 people. It is not, because number 2 is that I'm not even good at posing 1 person. As a portrait photographer, or as someone who like was a portrait photographer, I really should be better. I have a very hard time posing people. So I have a really hard time posing 2 people for like romantic lovey-dovey like keepsake type photos. So I wish that I'd had them send me photos that were like their ideal wedding shots. They're like must-haves. I did have like a little wedding Pinterest board of like cute poses and everything that like I had ready, but I don't know, in the moment they didn't really help that much. I didn't think, maybe I didn't save enough, I didn't prepare well enough. I'm pretty sure most wedding photographers do consultations with families and clients before the actual day of the wedding, so that they can plan the shots, they can go over like what the timeline of the day is going to be, so they know like who's in what pictures, who we need when, so there's not a bunch of like random scrambling. Oh, get grandma, or oh, get, you know, great aunt Sally to come over here, she's all the way across the room at the bar or something. Have a plan, have shot lists with all the poses for the day, everyone who's supposed to be in each shot. Like just have it be really structured so that it's efficient. Like the more structure there is, the faster you're gonna get through the photos, and you're not gonna be like, you know, fumbling around for an hour and a half when you could have done this in 30 minutes if you just were able to be like bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? It's also really helpful to do a consultation so that the family and the couple knows like what type of photos they're going to be getting from me, and like what they, and I know what they expect from me. If I ever do end up shooting more weddings, they probably will not be big bulky DSLR, big strobe light flash. Because if that's the case, then I'm not shooting the wedding. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I don't like event photography. So if I ever do like wedding photography, they're going to be, I don't know what the right word is. I'm gonna put the word here that I mean because I can't think of it right now. Artsy fartsy pictures, probably documentary style, probably black and white. Yes, I will have flash. I will like be able to take pictures at night. But there's like a style of wedding photography that is like wedding photography. And I know that my style of shooting is just not within those parameters. At the end of the day, all of my photos, regardless of what type of photos, nature, portrait, graduation, wedding, event, whatever, I want my photos to look like I took them. I want them to be so easily identifiable. This is a shot by Tessa. But the thing about wedding photography is sometimes it does get a little generic because couples and families like want those generic photos, not because they're like basic and not creative, but because like those are the photos that, you know, it's an important day. You can only do it one time, hopefully. So you want the pictures to just be like perfect and timeless. And I think that I did deliver timeless photos, but I also know that the photos that I did deliver would not be ideal for every couple. So I think also just establishing like, this is the type of photography I do, this is my style of photograph, this is what you'll get. And then if they're like, okay, perfect, great, we love your style, we want you to shoot our wedding, then have them tell me what their like must-haves are so that I can, you know, shoot their wedding. Not just shoot a wedding, but shoot like their specific wedding, have photos that they're like, wow, like this is us. And I don't know, maybe this is something like when you are a seasoned wedding photographer, you don't really have to ask them like, oh, what type of shots do you want? Because maybe you just know. And even if you don't know, you have like 50 poses in the back of your head that you could have just like ready to go. But I didn't. And I assume that most people starting wedding photography probably don't. At least not their first, you know, few weddings when you're just getting into the swing of things. So it's important. It's important to have those shots planned out and like be established. I'm really blessed that I have friends that, you know, are willing to be guinea pigs while I like learn to shoot different styles of photography, because they had no portfolio. They just knew like, we like Tessa's photography, hopefully she can shoot our wedding well. And I think I did. They were happy. They were happy, I was happy. The person I was shooting with, we were both happy with each other's work. So like overall, I think they got a great package. I think they got a little under 100 photos, so like not a ton obviously, but I also wasn't hired to be sharpshooter for the day. I probably could have taken, you know, 800 in the amount of time that, you know, I was there. But yeah, I was very thankful for the trust. So yeah, I don't know if I will be shooting any more weddings in the future because like I said, I'm not a huge event photography fan, but I did love, I don't know, like shooting a beautiful woman and her beautiful dress. Like at the end of the day, I started photography as like a portrait photographer, and I really wanted to go into fashion photography like when I first started. So to be able to like shoot a couple looking like perfectly dressed and with a beautiful scene, like it's just like the perfect place to take photos of the perfect people. It's a really good feeling. So I will say, like, if I ever do shoot another wedding, it will be because I did enjoy it. I don't know, they were just like really nice additions to my portfolio, I think. So yeah, it did bring me joy to shoot it, and it brought me joy that they enjoyed them. So I don't know, who knows? If you want me to shoot your wedding, let me know.